White Sox baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. And we are coming to you from Kauffman Stadium in the heart of Mid-America, Kansas City, Missouri, where tonight CSN Chicago presents White Sox baseball. It's Rick Renteria's 2017 White Sox as they take on Ned Yost's Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the first of this 4-game set and the fourth of this 10-game road trip. As you know, we just finished 2 out of 3 in Detroit, where we took 2 out of 3 there. So we'll have 4 here and finish it off with 3 against the Orioles in Baltimore. But I'll tell you one thing, Todd Frazier's starting, thank goodness, to get it cranked up a little bit.
Well, Todd's only hitting 185, but that really doesn't tell the story because he's on an RBI streak spanning 6 games. And in those 6, he's driven in 9 runs, hitting .304, hit a couple of balls out of the ballpark, so things are starting to come to life for him. Jose Abreu back in the lineup, so the middle of the lineup is in pretty good shape with Frazier now starting to bash the ball.
The last week, these guys came into our place in a 3-game series, and they got their finish swept.
This team is not scoring any runs, this Kansas City bunch. On the other side of the coin, in that 3-game series, the Sox scored 27 of them, more than enough for the sweep. Javi Garcia is not in the lineup. He's taking another day off. He's listed as day-to-day. So Matt Davidson will try to pick up the slack. And he took Vargas the opposite way back at Chicago. And hopefully more the same here in Kansas City. This is a tougher park to hit home runs, but the wind is blowing out toward right today, and that's the strength of Davidson.
Well, they've got a good left-hander out there on the bump. If you look at his numbers, you say he shouldn't have lost the game, but he has.
Jason Vargas is 3-1. That loss directly resulting in pitching in Chicago against our ball club. He didn't have real good stuff that day. He went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, only 3 of them earned, but it was enough to chalk up a loss. Melky Cabrera hits him very well, and everything was going very well as far as the Sox were concerned. Another shot of Matt Davidson, and if he hits the ball to right center in this ballpark, he's going to find that it goes out rather easily. So it's Dylan Covey against Jason Vargas. Vargas against our ball club lifetime has been awful. The ERA 6.50. Dylan Covey with his no D against Kansas City threw the ball pretty well. Does not have a win yet, and hopefully he can get there.
Well, Leury Garcia had a big series against these Royals back at home, and sit back, relax, and strap it down because White Sox baseball coming your way.
we're working a lot with the younger players, getting them on video so that they can introduce themselves to you, and maybe you can find a little bit something about them that you didn't know before. So today we've got Zach Birdie talking about his goals for this season.
I think it's just going out there and trying to grow every day, not trying to make too much of the expectations or the pressure that's being put out there for the younger guys ever since the rebuild was announced. But like I said, just going out there, enjoying the game, enjoying the process, and constantly wanting to grow and get better at my craft.
April was a very good month on the farm. Yohan Moncada doing it all, 314 with 4 home runs, 7 runs batted in. He steals bases and he's playing a better defense. Carson Fulmer off to a great start also in AAA Charlotte, along with Zach Birdie, who's thrown it very well, his ERA at 3.12, and Michael Kopech. A starter in AA is 1-1, his ERA 2.5, so he's throwing it well. And we've had a lot of great news from the farm. This is just some of it, and we'll be going and showing it to you all year long. So stay with us. It's Sox and Kansas City coming up after these messages. Stadium in Kansas City, and we are ready to show you how they're going to line up for Ricky Renteria and our Sox. Tyler Saladino leading it off, and it's Tim Anderson in the 2 spot with Melky Cabrera, Jose Abreu, who's hitting it very well. Todd Frazier has an RBI streak with Matt Davidson, Leury Garcia, Omar Narvaez, and Jacob May getting the start in right field and hitting 9th. The defense, and now they're going to line up behind Jason Vargas. It's Gordon, Kane, and Bonifacio in the outfield, with Mike Moustakas, Alcides Escobar, Christian Colon, and Eric Hosmer in the infield. Once again, Salvador Perez, the ever-present catcher behind the plate. And our Lexus Experience Amazing starting pitcher is Jason Vargas. On for the 5th start, he's 3-1. The ERA, a very fine 1.40. Did not have the best stuff against our Sox in Chicago, and he paid the price for it. The umpires for tonight's game: Kerwin Danley behind the plate, Todd Tifshner at first, Adam Hamari is at second, and the crew chief, Bill Miller, is at third. So on a day without a cloud in the sky, the wind, which is a pretty stiff one right now, is blowing out toward right and right center field. Ned Yost does not have near the bullpen that he's had at various times of his managerial career. This bullpen are mere mortals. The other was a lockdown. So they throw the ball around the infield. Jason Vargas is ready to go, as is Tyler Saladino. And time to throw it to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Stoney, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on CSN Chicago. First of 4 here in Kansas City. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. A little discussion at home plate to get that worked out without any fisticuffs.
Well, they decided to do what St. Louis Cardinals do, start their game 15 minutes after the top of the hour.
This guy's not going to impress you with his stuff, but what he is going to impress you with is his pitchability. He is 1 game under 500 for his career, and a guy who has never been a hard thrower by any stretch of the imagination.
No, he's had a few physical problems and realized that that straight change is how he's going to make his money.
He'll work both sides of the plate. He'll work all 4 quadrants. In, out, up, and down.
Outfield shading him a couple steps to right center field. They're not overly deep.
That's off the plate. Saladino hitting at 221. Our Sox hitting at 239 as a team, but we have a very fine 3.11 team ERA. Sox 7-5 on the road this year, which is very good, as that is high. And there's a pretty good outfielder right there, Alex Gordon. So right now, let's check out our picks to click. Jimangio, our crew, they went with Tyler. Fans are going with Matt Davidson. Steve's going with Melky, who hits Vargas very well. That's the reason he's going with it. I don't blame him.
That's it.
And George McDaniel, Bill Tucker, Jeff Forkey, Joe Gronowski, Ashley Sorensen. We're going to go with Todd Frazier, try to keep him on the streak.
Pretty impressive 6-game RBI streak.
There's a strike to Anderson, hitting at 204. A couple homers, he's driven in 6.
That's a pitch that Vargas has got to get, and if Kerwin Danley is going to call it in there, he's going to be more effective than he was in Chicago.
And that's high into short center field. Lorenzo is another good outfielder. So 2 down.
Interesting game in Detroit. We knew that the Indians were coming to town when we left, which we did yesterday. It's very important between the Tigers and Cleveland because last year Cleveland spoiled basically the season for the Tigers. They were 14-4 against Detroit. So this game they're kicking off, Detroit is beating them up early 5-1.
So here's Cabrera. He is 7 for 22 with a homer lifetime off Vargas. I like the way Danley stayed with that pitch. Just off the plate, and the count 1-0. That's going to be an easy inning for the 34-year-old southpaw. And after half inning play, our guys nothing, and their guys coming to bat.
Tonight, Mike Moustakas, the leadoff hitter. Then it's Kane, Hosmer, and Salvador Perez in the middle. Gordon, Bonifacio, Moss the DH with Escobar and Colon rounding it out. The defense and how they'll line up behind Dylan Covey. It's Cabrera, Garcia, and May in the outfield with Davidson, Anderson, Saladino, and Abreu in the infield. Omar Narvaez gets a nod behind the plate. And our Lexus Experience Amazing starting pitcher is Dylan Covey. 0-1 ERA up close to 7 there. You look at the numbers. Control has been a factor. This Kansas City team, offensively, they are trailing the American League by a wide margin in runs scored.
Moustakas, 28-year-old third baseman, hitting at .271, 7 homers, 11 knocked in. He was voted the Royal Player of the Month. Checks it up, fouls it off. So we got 2 guys out there that are not hard throwers.
Yes.
How has Covey got to go about his business tonight to try to keep his club in this ball game?
He's facing a team, Hawk, that hasn't hit and hasn't scored to this point. So with a .210 team batting average, what you want to make sure is you're throwing strikes. You can't really afford to walk any of these guys because they're struggling. You walk them, now you open the door to a bigger inning.
Well, in essence, what you're saying is just don't beat himself.
Right, and you know his curveball is really good. Just a question of getting consistent throwing it over the plate. When he throws it over the plate, there's not many guys that are hitting it. The challenge will be establishing that you can get the curveball over early and then using your fastball as a spot pitch.
Well, that sinker of his is real good when he keeps him thigh down. But it's cold out there. And I mean, it is not chilly.
No.
It is frigid.
Well, they listed it 60 degrees, but it's 60 somewhere. It's just not down there.
Yeah. Now, what do they call it? ARIZ? That ball into center field, short. We got a man that can run. The Uri comes on. That's out number 1. And we lost a good friend and a big White Sox fan today. Heartfelt condolences and wishes go out to the family of Ed Essler. Passed away earlier today. Ed, father to Mark, grandfather to Josh, 2 dear friends of mine. And he was a Sox fan, a huge Sox fan for over 70 years. We're thinking about you guys. So here's Lorenzo. At .272 a homer, he's driven in 5. Last year, Kane hit .287, 9 homers, and drove in 56.
He's been one of the biggest offensive catalysts on this team for a few years now.
2 years ago, I thought he had absolutely gotten over the hump and was going to become an offensive force. I mean, a big one.
Yeah.
I'm talking about even in this ballpark, 20 to 30 home runs. He was swinging the bat so well, it was just absolutely. It was, from a baseball standpoint, it was fun to watch. As there is what Steve just alluded to. Don't walk him.
Now, not early in the ball game where the visibility isn't great, and also with the wind blowing toward right and right center to aid the left-hand hitters. Just don't want to get too generous with ball 4.
Here's Hosmer. .225 a homer, he's driven in 6. Yeah, I thought he had gotten over the hump. He just looked like he was dangerous every time he stepped in that box. Wasn't thinking about mechanics. Had a beautiful approach, and it left him.
Well, it helped that he had a switch hitter with power, Kendrys Morales, hitting behind him, and they decided to part ways with Morales. They haven't yet been able to find somebody in the middle of their order that could do what Kendrys did for them.
Well, this guy hit the place not bad.
No, he is not bad, but he's really struggling in the early going because he's been trying to pull everything, and you and I both know that his strength is to left center field.
Well, that's what usually happens when a club, they're on a 9-game losing streak. And when you're on a 9-game losing streak in the major leagues, everything looks bad. I don't care what it is. Every part and parcel of your ball club looks bad. Hosmer last year hit 25 homers, drove in 104, and is one of the best defensive first basemen in the game. But you touched on it in your piece there earlier. Oh, yeah, look at this. Nice play by Matt. Wow. That ball was absolutely scalded. Meanwhile, rack 'em up, and after one, no score.
Happy 5-4-3 to get out of the inning. Hosmer hits his ball hard. A one-hopper, and from his knees, Davidson is able to start the double play, which ends the inning. Good piece of defense. Excellent effort by Matt. And even with the double clutch, plenty of time to get him from Tim Anderson.
It'll be Abreu, Frazier, and Davidson. Well, when you're in a good position like he was, he had his fanny down. That brings your head down. The lower you get, the more bad hops you take away. If he's got his fanny up right there, he's got no chance to make that play.
Well, probably winds up caroming off his ankle.
Well, like we were talking before the game, most of your, for years, most of your really outstanding defensive players in the infield were littler guys, only because their eye level is down lower than the big guys. That's the reason they didn't have back in those days 6'4", 6'5" shortstops.
I was going to say, remember when that was the case? If you were that big, they'd automatically move you to third, or if you have some speed, the outfield, you just didn't play shortstop.
That's right, because you couldn't get in position. Most of them couldn't get in decent position. There's a little soft pop-up. Cologne. 1 out.
Vargas is using that straight change very well. That's his pitch. If that's not working, he's not working. But this year, at least, he's off to just a great start, and the straight change has found the catcher's glove wherever Salvi Perez decides to put it.
Had him way off balance. Got 0 for 4 against Vargas.
Here's one of the best numbers you could possibly have, and that is the batting average of opposing hitters leading off an inning. Since last All-Star break, nobody in baseball is better than Jason Vargas. Just a little over 100 are they hitting. And that's, leading off an inning, if you can neutralize that leadoff hitter, you're usually in pretty good shape.
Full count.
And Davidson in the on-deck circle, and the conditions for him are favorable. A right and right center field win.
Especially with a left-hander on the mound. That's high, and that's going to be a souvenir.
That's what it looks like so far, and one of the great broadcasters in the game, Denny Matthews, who's been with the Royals since their inception, says it'll die down as it gets darker. So we'll have to see if Denny is a great prognosticator.
Denny's been here for a long time.
So he has that. Ford Frick Award winner back in 2007.
That's right back over our heads.
There's a look at Denny. Along with Steve Physiak, they've got the radio call this evening.
Ryan Lefevre and Rex Hudler.
That's television, boys. Rex is a character.
He is one of the, and he was when he played, one of my favorite players to watch play. You're talking about playing hard. You're talking about going into second base to break up a. He was the second baseman. There's Rexy. Oh, what a competitor he was. We were talking before the game, and he said he can't tweet. He has somebody that tweets for him. And I said, well, you and I don't have the temperament to be a tweeter. He said, you're right on. Here's Davidson.
That's a pitch he was getting in the first inning, and if Kerwin Danley stays there and calls that pitch consistently, he's not going to hear a thing from the hitters. But umpires don't adjust to hitters. Hitters have to adjust to whatever man behind the plate is calling on a given night.
High down the right field line. Bonifacio on foul ground. Makes the catch for out number 2. So, Sox fans, celebrate your Italian roots with Italian Heritage Night presented by Beggar's Pizza when we take on the San Diego Padres on Friday, May 12th. Italian Heritage Night will feature specially priced tickets and a post-game fireworks show. So to purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/Italy. Beautiful Italy. Here's Leury.
Well, Leury's had a very good run of it this year, getting his opportunity and making the most of it. See the .310 batting average. He's hit the ball out of the ballpark, and he's got great speed to go with it.
Well, he's at that window now, 26. Yeah. 26, 27, 28, when most guys either, especially talented guys like Leury, run, throw, hit, got some pop. That's when you either make it or they don't. He's got that nice presence at the plate now. And by that I mean you see guys and you can almost tell when guys are at that plate and they're thinking mechanics. They're doing something that will lead you to believe they're thinking mechanics. He is free and easy up there right now. He's not thinking about mechanics. He's thinking about approach.
As I say, he's rolling with it because right now he's hitting everything from both sides of the plate. So you don't have to change anything. You really don't have to think anything. That's one of those streaks that you get on every now and again where the ball looks like a softball.
Well, that's because your head's not moving.
Yep.
Two and 0. He's got the catbird seat. And there's a shot base hit. So now 2 on, 2 out, and that'll bring up Omar.
Good battling at bat. Spoiled a couple of decent pitches. Finally getting one that he liked. And a chance to break through against Jason Vargas.
So our first hit. Omar hitting at 273, no homers. He's driven in 3. If you got the right guys, and I'm not talking about superstars, but if you got the right guys, Vargas is the kind of guy you, from a manager standpoint, making out a lineup, you might be better off putting left-handers in there against him or switch hitters.
I agree with you entirely because of that straight change.
Exactly.
I mean, he lives and dies with a straight change, and that's his pitch. He was inquiring of Kerwin Danley about the bottom part of the zone.
Well, Joe Madden was the first guy against Mark Burley was stack it with left-handed hitters.
Yeah, all you got to do is look at the splits with a left-hander with a good changeup, and lefties will fare better.
Convention has killed a lot of managers in the major leagues. They just didn't want to do anything different.
Yeah,
quote, different.
You got your platoon players, and they fit comfortably into that platoon system, but this is one of the oddities of that system where a left-hander has better luck.
That ball through the wickets. So both men will advance. They give it a wild pitch.
It's a wild pitch, but we've seen Salvi Perez block this day in and day out. This one, he just couldn't smother. It's a slider, and he comes up and the ball stays down. That is the one thing, and Salvi's a really good defensive catcher.
He's one of the best in the game.
Yeah, that's the one thing you can't do. You stay down, and you can't come up before the hop.
Breaking ball reaches out. Hosmer underneath. Good feed. That'll end the inning. But yeah, Miles threat go by the boards after an inning has still no score.
We'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all the White Sox fans in Southern Illinois watching CSN on Wabash Independent Networks.
Perez, Gordon, Bonifacio.
It will be interesting to see just how many games Salvi Perez catches this year, because normally he's among the most durable in all of baseball. But to keep his numbers up offensively, got to give him a day off every now and then, especially in this city in the summertime. It's awfully humid.
Perez hitting at 272, 6 homers. He's driven in 12. Takes first pitch strike. Dylan Covey. When they won the count.
That's a 1 pitch. In order for Dylan to have a really good night, that's the 1 pitch he's got to get over the plate. If he can get the curveball over, it'll set up everything else he has.
The ball high into center field. And it's out number 1. Well, you said it up front, and that's all hitters want to know. Can you get his curveball?
Yeah, but if the answer is no to that, then you got a big smile on your face if you're a hitter.
No question.
you're just gonna pass that one by and wait for the next one.
You look like that ageless Cheshire cat.
Yeah.
There are many times that you'll go to the plate and that pitch taken outside by Alex Gordon, hitting at 184, no homers, he's driven in 5. A lot of times you go to the plate and against a pretty good pitcher, and you've been watching him, he's having trouble getting that curveball over. And all of a sudden, you got a man on third, 1 out. He throws the curveball, he misses. He throws the curveball, he misses. As that ball hit hard into center field. He back. Now makes the catch. That ball carried a little further than he anticipated. Meanwhile, 2 down. But now the count's 2-0, and you step out of the box and you look at it and you're thinking to yourself, you blankety, you're in a lot of trouble.
Well, a fastball's forthcoming.
Well, and you do that. You say that to yourself because what it does is it just sets your mind in a different perspective. It gives you that supreme sense of control.
Then you're at the point at 2-0 where you can look at the location and pick that out. You're not going to guess the pitch too often, but location you can guess.
Yeah, but also when you're looking fastball on a guy like that, it doesn't have to be. It can be, back in those days, because you had more good high fastball hitters, it can be up above the letters. It can be a little outside. The one place that you're not going to go for it is this off the plate. But that's just playing games at the plate.
You saw Bonifacio in the series in Chicago. He's a talented young man. Right now, he's at the point where he'll get a good at bat once or twice a night. And as he gets older and knows the pitchers better, that's going to be many more good at bats than bad. But this guy's strong. He can hit it a long way.
23 years old. 267 minor league career hitter.
Dylan's still having some command issues with that curveball, but you have to stay with it. You've got to get to the point where you're feeling real good about it because it'll be a big weapon later in the ball game for him.
Watch out. Boy, that ball was tattooed.
We talked about the talent this young man has, and he showed it in a few at-bats in Chicago, just missing a couple long fly balls. This time he just waits. He got the pitch he was looking for. It's a fastball, takes it right back up the middle, and the inning stays alive.
Here's Moss.
You throw him anything low, middle, in, and you got some big problems.
Brandon off to a 167, but he does have 4 homers. Yeah, he can hit it out of the ballpark. Last year, St. Louis had a lot of problems. Wound up hitting 225, a couple of homers, and driving in only 28. But he is, when healthy, much more dangerous than those numbers. One and one to count.
Hard breaking ball on the inside corner. And those are the career numbers of Brandon Moss. He is a home run hitter, a run producer at various times of his career, and not much of an average hitter. which for a run producer is not all that important.
There are a lot of variables that go into that. When you're a strong guy and you go to the plate many times throughout the course of the year, 2 out, nobody on.
And you're just airing it out.
You're just trying to put a quick one on the board. And everybody on your team knows it. Softly hit. Nice pick. Takes it himself. That's good. And it'll retire the side, but they come up with their first hit. We're into the third. Still no score.
You can now watch your Sox on the go. Live stream all CSN Chicago games at csnchicago.com or on the NBC Sports app, presented by State Farm.
Jacob May will lead it off for us here in the top of the third inning. Pops it up. Hosmer giving over chase over by the camera well. He's got room. So quickly, 1 pitch, 1 out. Yeah, but the managers today are different than they were, obviously, because the game is different. Anybody says the game's different hadn't been following it like you and I have, you know, for a long, long time. But they would tell you back in years past, whoever it was, whether it was me or whoever, when you go to the plate, you know, especially against a good pitcher, and especially from the middle of the game to the late innings, and there's 2 out, nobody on, I want to see how far you can hit it.
Well, that's a good plan.
Well, and they would tell you, and if you strike out, hey, I'll take that strikeout. I'll take it. Saladino went out to left.
Vargas already walked Frazier last inning. He normally has pinpoint control. I thought that one was inside, off the plate, and almost on his way to first.
And that is a souvenir right side. I'll tell you what, for a Monday night as bad as the weather has been today, There are a lot of Royal fans. They're averaging 27,137. And there is ball 4. And a reminder, Sox fans, this season check out the new Craft Cave located in right field. Now the Craft Cave features over 75 craft beers. Also features a full bar menu including craft burgers and a lively atmosphere for all fans. So for an additional charge, you can sit in the bullpen porch, a 2-tiered open air section above the visiting bullpen throughout the game. So for more information, call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
Outfield straight away. And they're back there. Not overly deep, but certainly deep enough.
I don't know about Bonifacio, but I know one thing. They can cover some ground out there in left and center.
Yeah, they've got great range and a park that absolutely needs a center fielder can go get them, because there are very spacious alleys here at Kauffman Stadium.
Turn that one over, missed. Good motion right there, had him way out in front.
Yeah, that was same release point as the fastball, same arm velocity as the fastball, only the ball doesn't get there, and that pretty much by definition is a good changeup.
Pokes that one into right field. He broke back now, coming on. He cannot make the play, completely misjudged that one. So 1 out, 2 on.
Big break there is a little looping fly ball. Falls, and this was up a long time. Bonifacio just obviously didn't see it very well. He took 3 steps back and then couldn't make it up.
I was looking, I didn't see Paolo Orlando's name on the roster.
They sent him down.
Boy, for what he did the last couple of years. Wow.
They sent him down when they sent down Raul Mondesi Jr. So both of those guys had options, and they used them both. It was kind of surprised. A lot of people were surprised that Orlando was one of the guys that left.
He was one of the top 2 or 3 best players against us the last couple of years on this ball club.
Very good.
I mean, with the lumber and the leather. 1-1 the count to Cabrera, who grounded out to Escobar at short. That's out of play, and the count 1-2. If you're just tuning in, we're in the top of the 3rd, no score. First of a 4-game series here, and this is the 4th of a 10-game road trip. We just took 2 out of 3 from the Tigers in Detroit. We're going to have 4 here. Finish it off with 3 in Baltimore. And that's popped up. Bonifacio calling off Lorenzo Cain.
I think Lorenzo was a little surprised, but they didn't collide, and they got the out.
That'll bring up Abreu. He popped up softly to Colon at second base.
Tyler out at second base, turned around and checked where each and every one of the outfielders were. They're all straight away. and fairly deep.
And if you're just tuning in, Ivy Garcia not in the lineup tonight. They want to give him another day's rest, and I think it's a very, very wise move in this cold weather.
Yeah, absolutely. As well as he was going, you can ill afford to lose him for any length of time, and if it means sitting out a ball game where he doesn't have to hustle down the line, which he does anyway, I'd say fine. Make sure he's 100% before he comes back.
I talked to him before the game, and he told me, I asked him, I said, Javi, how you feel? He looks at me and goes, really good. He said, much, much better. So
good.
Yeah. Oh, and 2 the count. 0-3 the count. So we strand another pair. That's 4 we've left, and we're still scoreless. By Magellan Corporation. So to purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com or call 866-SOX-GAME.
City's Escobar is off to a very slow start. One of the reasons is he's hitting too many pitches in the air. He's got good speed, and when he was going well, he would punch a ball into right field, but he's trying to pull a whole lot and hitting a lot of fly balls.
He's been a good one. He has really played well against us.
He came over in the same deal that brought them Lorenzo Cain from the Milwaukee Brewers in exchange for Zach Greinke. Greinke was a very good pitcher, but they got 2 mainstays in their starting lineup for a long time from that deal.
That's high and deep in the left field. Stay in here. And the ball is not caught. A mix-up. Either one could have caught it.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case, and it goes as a double, but it's pretty much of a gift. And an ominous way to start this 3rd inning. We talked about trying to pull everything and hitting fly balls, and this is what Escobar did. The wind did knock it down, kept it in the park, and then lack of communication and no catch.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to guard against Cabrera. So There again, you'll never be able to ascertain or define a true ERA for pitchers until they make a rule change. And that rule change coming under the heading of team error. That'll get the job done.
Good bunt. He deadened it enough so there was no chance to get Escobar at third. Left Jose with only one play, which he made. This is good fundamentals. What you try to do is catch the ball with the bat. That'll deaden it enough so that you're not going to get the lead runner gunned down.
There's Moustakas, infield in. Nice play by Matt. Holds the runner. Gets the man. 2 down. Good second good play by Davidson.
Escobar had an idea he was going to take off, and if this caroms off the glove, he probably would have. But it was a one hopper. Matt in close, takes a look at third to freeze Escobar, and then they got Moustakas by plenty. But defensively, Matt Davidson, a couple of very good plays early in this one. That's one of the things where he said that he's worked very hard on is his defense, because a few years back that was somewhat of a liability for him, and now he plays a good third base.
There's a breaking ball strike to Kane. He walked. Only walk issued by Covey. Right at Saladino, and Davidson is going to bail out Cabrera and Liuri. Still no score.
WS, and it's the longest home runs by Todd Frazier the last couple of years. The one he hit yesterday at 441 leads the pack in that department. He got every bit of this. Todd with a run batted in his 6th straight games, looking for a little bit more of that here tonight.
He walked his first trip. And he takes ball 1. That one had part of the zone to even the count at 1.
Just about the time you think that he's going to throw you a fastball, he takes something off, something that he already took something off of. This is a soft tossing left-hander.
Well, all Sox fans who are over the ages of 20, all Sox fans know just how our club has fared against soft tossing left-handers.
Well, one just got released today. Tommy Malone.
Well, I feel bad for him, but I feel great for us.
He was awfully tough. Vargas, our boys have gotten to during the course of his career, but Malone, not so much. Vargas came into action tonight at 1-3 with a .670 earned run average lifetime against our Sox.
Yeah, Malone there for a while. We couldn't touch him. And there is the dreaded leadoff walk, second walk issued. Check that, third walk issued by Vargas. 2 of them to Todd. There comes Davidson.
Vargas has to be most unhappy with himself. He's just shaking his head because control is a huge part of his game, and when he doesn't have it, he becomes very vulnerable.
Takes a strike right there, but it was a changeup. One and one to count.
That time Todd was trying to get one of those running starts, but Vargas just held the ball for a bit, and eventually he came stationary. That's when Vargas threw the ball.
That ball hit hard. Came back, went knocking it down a little bit. Not anywhere near as brisk as it was, but still, that was ball was tattooed.
And the wind, not that much of a factor right now, not like it was when this game started.
No, it was howling before.
That was out away, and Matt got a good piece of it. But if it's not to right or right center, the wind, now what little there is of it, is going to knock the ball down.
Here's the Uri. One of our 2 hits. Vargas reminds me of a lot of the way he sets up, looks in the hitter of Jesse Orozco.
Orozco was around a long time.
Well, he's, you know, you talk about great left-handed relievers. You know, Orozco, Sparky Lyle, Dan Plesac. Those 3 are great.
And maybe as good as any of them. Yeah, John Franco was.
Yeah, Franco was
that
really good.
Screwball that he threw, oh, he was really good.
Well, Plesac, what do you have, 19 years in? Orozco,
Seemingly
a long time.
Forever, yeah. I think Orozco was a little longer than him.
Yeah.
And Jamie Moyer might have been longer than both of them.
I always considered Jamie a starter.
He was.
He was.
No, I mean, he spent his time. He spent some time in relief, but for the most part, yeah, most part with that stuff, that was starter stuff.
Well, he won 20 games when he was about 62, wasn't he?
Seemed like it.
Get through. It will. So Narvaez. Two-out single. Runners at the corners.
Omar makes contact. And making contact, good things will happen. Takes it right back through the middle. No chance for anybody. And runners at the corners with a chance to break through.
And the first thing, too, also should be popping into Jacob's mind, even though he's a youngster, you don't know if it is, and I doubt if it is it when you get man on third base against a guy like Vargas, first thing you got to think about, I'm going to make him get it up. Because chances are he's going to get it up a little bit. He's not going to take a chance on that wild pitch or pass ball down there.
Well, we've had one. It's unusual to get by Perez, but probably not going to see another one. There might be one that gets by, but it will be a wild pitch.
Jacob fouled out to Hosmer on one pitch. His first trip. Pretty good pitch, close, but it goes Jacob's way. That's down there. And the count 3-1. Don't help him out. This is going to be your pitch until you see it's not.
He's going to get a fastball. Let's see where he gets it.
And there's a base hit. That boy, Jacob. He took a couple of close pitches there. That's a good, solid at bat for him. And we take a 1-0 lead. That's leadoff walk.
Third run driven in by Jacob May. He got his fastball. It was inside. Vargas threw it where he wanted to, but Jacob just got the head of the bat out, drove it through the left side, and one of the 3 walks came back to haunt him.
Don't stop now, boys, as here is Tyler. He's going out to left, and he walked. There's that change. I tell a lot of, when I get letters from dads, Hawk, my son's having trouble at the plate, blah, 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 blah. What can you, is there anything you can tell me I can tell him? A lot of times I'll tell him, just tell him, first of all, to have a little fun up there and make every pitch his pitch until he sees it's not. When that guy gets ready to deliver that pitch, that's your pitch to hit until you see it's not.
Well, Vargas is still around because it's so very difficult to wait back long enough on that change. And between that and his slow curveball, which he throws on occasion, you got to stay back as long as you possibly can. And the best way to do it then is, as you've talked about many times, beat him to the arm side, which for a right-hand hitter is right field, right and right center.
Checks it up. Yeah, if major league hitters, especially if they have a couple, 3 years experience, will go into that philosophy, I'm going to beat guys to their arm side, they'll be much more dangerous. There's a shot right to him, but big clutch 2-out single by Jacob May. He leaded 1-0. Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, home of low mortgage rates and the world's best digital mortgage. So get started now at rate.com. 1-0 good guys here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Hosmer scalded one his first at bat with Kane on at first. Matt Davidson made a terrific play to start a 5-4-3 double play. There's a strike.
And Matt is in exactly where he was to start the double play, which was right at the cut of the grass. He wants to make sure at least he would have a shot if Hosmer was going to bunt it that way.
Yeah, Matt's getting a lot better fielding position now.
Yeah, he is. That was a good pitch that he did not get. There you see the 2 on your CSN pitch cast.
There's a chopper. And Hosmer, a dangerous hitter, is retired.
You have to wonder, and I don't know if you'll ever know the answer to this, but they have so many guys that are going to be free agents after this year that you'd have to wonder if they were pressing at all, thinking that they've got to have a great year because that's what you want to take into free agency with you. You think psychologically that is one of the difficulties?
I certainly think it can be. I mean, I think it can be a huge one. You know, guys look at that situation and handle it differently. It's like a fingerprint.
It's true.
You know, I remember when I got traded from, you know, Boston to Cleveland, and I was making $100,000 a year, which was that time the 3rd highest in the, that's popped up. So 2 down, 3rd highest in the American League. And I'm standing, I'll never forget this, Steve. I'm standing in right field at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, and I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing making $100,000 a year?
Well, enjoying it would be one thing.
Well, I said, you don't deserve $100,000. And then I said, Killebrew and K-Line aren't making $100,000. And the reason they were not making $100,000 is that they turned it down. They were offered that, and they said they're not worth it. They said nobody is worth $100,000.
Well, those days are gone.
Oh yeah, but that's one of the how everybody handles it differently. Because you know, for me to be making more money than Harmon Killebrew or Al Kaline was a joke.
Now, did you give any of it back to even things out?
No.
No. Yeah. Well, that's a good thought.
I pulled a Steve Stone.
You just, well, look, if someone's going to pay you, good idea to keep it.
Well, that's what my agent said. Bob Wolf, I was his second client he ever had. Earl Wilson was the first, and they called Bob the godfather of agents, you know, in baseball. And he told me something. He said, well, look, somebody's got to sign that check.
It's true.
He did go. There's Kerwin. But no, there's a lot of pressure. Pressure is the biggest killer of performance. You and I have discussed that now for years. Some guys just can't. That's fair. Well, that's a little duck snort.
Well, Gordon thought that was going to be a double with no play at second base, and he wasn't really busting it to get to second base till he saw Melky come up, and there was going to be a play. So he did get in ahead of the throw, but probably would have been a little more comfortable had he really turned it on out of the box. This is a high cutter that doesn't do much. Gordon takes it to left field. And Melky made it fairly close at second.
Here's Bonifacio. He hit a BB right back through the middle. It's tying run at second. On the other side of the page, you got guys that care less. They just love the game. They love to play. They're going to play hard. Whether if they have a good year, they have a good year. If they had a bad year, they have a bad year. Everything is self-induced. That's one reason managers today, that's the first responsibility. First responsibility of the manager in today's game and today's culture is to find a way to take pressure off the players. Second responsibility is handling the bullpen.
If you have a hard time handling the bullpen, your team will dissolve.
Oh yeah, in a hurry.
As many changes as you're going to make, and as few complete games as we have in this era of baseball, you need a healthy pen. You need a strong and healthy pen. Anything less than that, you're out of the competition. You're not going to make it.
Oh, we've touched on it, and as I said, people don't talk about it because it sounds bad. But today, it's more important than ever that managers learn how to eat a game, to save that bullpen. Or a better way to put it is not save the bullpen. Oh, that's way back. Bonifacio. And it's a 2-1 Kansas City lead.
That was way up there. He showed you just how strong he is. That was crushed. Just a second home run. He's now driven in 4. Gordon was able to keep alive with an opposite field double. And then Jorge Bonifacio just absolutely obliterates this on a Ford home run replay. It's a hanging breaking ball, and he got every stitch of it.
That on a cold night is deep.
You won't find too many up by that Commerce Bank, which is just to the right of that is where the ball hit.
Here's Moss. He grounded out to first. Two 4-0 for them, 1 4-0 for us. But the long home run by Bonifacio. We're into the 5th.
The White Sox top prospects in action as Yoan Moncada, Lucas Giolito, and the Charlotte Knights take on Norfolk. Don't miss first pitch at 10 a.m. this Wednesday on CSN. A chance to see some of the youngsters.
That pitch hit into right field. Drifting back is Bonifacio. Anderson. 1 out.
That ball wind up going a long way to the opposite field, and the wind has died down considerably.
Yeah, first couple of innings that may have gone out.
I think it would have.
Cabrera's grounded to short, going out to center.
Elke played in an outfield here with Kansas City that had all 3 outfielders with 40 or more doubles. That's a pretty good trick.
Let's say all 3 could catch it and throw it.
Yeah.
Pops that one up on a Fascio. You know, another way you might want to approach a guy with a good changeup like this is you box him in. And by that I mean you don't look at the motion, you look at the area where you think the delivery is going to be made from. If he's coming 3/4, you look out there. If he's coming right over the top, you look up there. That way you get you take a little bit of your eyesight off the motion, because the motion sets up the change of pace.
That's the whole thing. You keep the same motion as you have in your fastball, your changeup is going to be very good. And Vargas has one of those.
Well, what I just said is it's a lot harder to do.
Yeah.
You know, but you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. Breaking ball misses. You just set up that little area, put a little imaginary box out there where you think he's going to be throwing the ball from, and that's the only thing you look at. That ball hit hard right at him. So we're halfway home. We trail it 2-1. All right, Chuck, thank you very much, buddy. As here's Escobar. He just rips that one right by Davidson.
It certainly helps if you will bunt on occasion, then you'll bring them in at the corners, and that's exactly where Matt was. As Escobar now 2 for 2, pulls it right by him, shortening up the possibility of a bunt. Only to see a first ball fastball go whizzing right by him.
Well, the second time around, usually unless the guy's really got his pinpoint stuff. He'll do a little better for the offense.
You get an idea about the velocity and the movement on a given night, which you might know. You might see a lot of video of it, but you don't really know how it's going to play on a particular evening until you step in the batter's box.
So here is Cologne, Christian, had a sacrifice bunt back in the 3rd inning. And we may see another one here. Takes ball 1. There you go. So the hit and run was on. Jacob, foul ground, makes the catch for out number 1.
That's certainly one of the ways you can try to shake your team out of an offensive malaise, and that is showing some movement. And that's what he did with the bottom part of the order, but Cologne didn't get much into the swing.
Well, this ball club, this Kansas City ball club's got two always some Kansas City people before the game. It's basically the same compliment as those a line drive. Jacob, yes,
nope.
Yes, he
Nope.
dropped it.
Yeah, it trickled out.
Dadgummit. What an effort.
He got one down and hit the daylights out of it. Moustakas with a sinking line drive, and Jacob, for a moment, looked like he would come up with it, but never got a glove on it.
No.
Fortunately, it hit his body, because on the dive, it doesn't hit his body. It's going to be another run, and Moustakas probably going to wind up at 3rd.
What an effort. But basically, the Kansas City team has the same people. Position players. They got a couple rookies in there. Cologne at 2nd. And Bonifacio out in right field. But the big thing is, again, is that bullpen.
Yeah, that's not near as devastating as it's been in recent years.
Well, that's why you look at Cleveland right now. That bullpen they've got situated over there. That's just a lot of wins waiting to happen.
Yeah, if the Indians have the lead late, it's going to be hard to come back at that bullpen.
That's too low. 2-0. Well, Terry is already a good manager, but all of a sudden you put him in a spot where he can only have to manage 5 or 6 innings. He's a good offensive manager as well. But you put Terry with a good bullpen like he has now. Our bullpen happens to have right now, the reason we've been playing well is they lead the major leagues in ERA.
Yeah, the bullpen has been magnificent, even with the injuries to Petrichka and Putnam. The other guys are really picking up the slack. And
Cleveland was 2nd.
Yeah, Canely this year has been unbelievably good and getting everything he throws over the plate.
There's a 3-0. And there's a strike. Hosmer on deck. And that will load him up.
Didn't miss by much, but it was off the corner as Don Cooper is taking a stroll out. Keep the deficit at 1. Kobe tries to dot the outside corner. It was a couple inches off the plate, and he did not get the benefit of the call by Kerwin Danley. So Kerwin Danley, the aforementioned Kerwin Danley, coming out to break this up on the mound. And broken up it is.
Hosmer's been to the plate twice. Smashed one into a 5-4-3 double play his first at bat. And leading off the fourth. Grounded out softly to second. But this is a blue plate special for Hosmer.
You can just get him to hit the ball on the ground because he doesn't have great speed. There is pretty decent speed on the base paths. Not necessarily at second, but the guys at the corners are.
Yanks that one foul.
And Omar goes out. He wants a word. It could very well be that halfway through the ball game, they're going to change the signs.
Kansas City trying to break a 9-game losing streak.
Had Hosmer well out in front of that. Good off-speed pitch. Good straight change.
He has not thrown many of those tonight.
No, he hasn't. And judging by the last one, pretty good pitch for him.
Now field straight up, spread out. There is what Steve was talking about earlier. Hosmer trying to pull instead of years past we've seen him against right-handers like this beat him arm side to left center.
This is another good changeup. And he had Hosmer well out in front. Nice stop by Narvaez. So 1 out away from getting out of a very difficult jam.
Well, if you're in that situation and you're trying to pull and you get a good changeup, you're not going to do anything with it. But still, pitch off the plate. You cannot ease up. Not with this guy. He's gone out to center and popped up to short.
Michael Inoa loosening in the pen.
Count evens at 1.
That one got a piece of Omar. So he's going to shake that off if he can. And Kerwin Danley will give him a little time. You take a beating behind the plate. And this one looked like it got him on the side of the knee after hitting off the glove.
Big pitch right here, the 1-1. Oh, man. Wow. It's going to score a pair.
That hit the bag. Terrible break.
Oh, man.
Just a terrible break as Perez drives in a pair. He now has 14 driven in. That one going right down the line, hit the bag and took the big hop into left field. So a bad break opens this one up a bit. Todd is right there to make the backhand, and Perez can't run, so he's going to be able to throw him out until right there. Matt Davidson taking a look, and all he can do is look up as the ball trickles into left field.
What are you talking about? This kid. Dillon didn't have any bad luck. He wouldn't have any luck at all. Gordon. He's gone deep to center and doubled. 4-1. That ball into left center. So a terrible break right there for Dylan Colby. They score a pair and they lead it by 3.
Insider all season long on CSNChicago.com, presented by The Great Escape. Whether it's pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, or more, escape your everyday. Shop The Great Escape. There's some work to be done.
We can get it done off the soft tossing left-hander. Maybe.
Historically, you would be correct with an ERA up close to 7, but tonight he's been a little better.
All I do is walk twice and scored our only run. Now field straight up, spread out about equidistant. Takes the bunt. Takes the ball. And the count 1-2. Turns that one over almost like a screwball.
Outfield playing him straight away. The infield playing him as a pull hitter. With Cologne up the middle, but on the third base side of second.
And a full count.
There's Matt Davidson waiting for his turn.
That's hit into center field, and that's going to fall for the base hit.
Matt Davidson has been sparkling with the glove. He made a couple of fine plays. This to his left. Starts a double play and out of the inning. And this one, equally as good, getting it across and making sure that Escobar can't score. The
base hit right here can change the attitude of this ball game.
Yeah, the big advantage that you had early in the game was the wind blowing to right and right center field. Now those flags are still. The wind has completely died down.
1-1 to count.
There you see it. No effect whatsoever.
There's a shot caught. That's a hang Wolfham.
Trying to wind its way down the line, but Moustakas had other ideas and made the catch. Fortunately, and that's heads up base running. Todd was not doubled off. Ball's hit hard. Todd takes a step, but then realizing that Moustakas is there, goes back to the bag.
Leary takes a breaking ball strike.
What was the best hitting background for you? Because that, I mean, for a hitter, the hitting background is of vital importance.
I liked most of them. It just, some of them. I like the one in Baltimore a lot. That's trouble. Can't get him though. That boy. Leary's speed.
Todd was waiting out at second base, taking a look at Adam Hamari just to make sure that Escobar had hit the bag. He did as he came across. We'll watch it again. Drags his foot across the bag, but cannot get the return throw off because Leary does have blazing speed.
Navarez, he's 1 for 2. I used to like the background in Old Comiskey Park. Now the only problem was I didn't like who was pitching.
I liked it because it was 463 straightaway center field with a high wall.
Yeah, but it was a good background to see. But unfortunately, they had too good a pitching staff most of the time.
Peter Moylan, submarining right-hander.
All right. We go to the bottom of the 6th. We need 3 to tie. to celebrate over 25 years of giving with $25 for 25. Donate $25 or more on May 10th and 11th with the chance to win White Sox prizes, including autographed items and experiences. So for more information and to participate, visit whitesox.com/Sox25. Bonifacio 2 for 2, and I mean 2 bullets. One back through the middle for a single, and one a tremendous home run to left field.
That gave you a bit of an idea why the Royals are starting him in their outfield, because they desperately need the power.
A long way to go, but he's there. Jacob makes a play for out number 1. Moss is grounded to first twice. Both times softly. Takes strike 1.
Alex Gordon, originally a third baseman, second pick in the country out of the University of Nebraska. Then became a Gold Glove left fielder.
That ball is called it too. Hang with them, Brandon. 2 down.
Want to know the inside scoop on all things Sox? For the latest news and moves, subscribe to the White Sox Talk podcast presented by Wintrust. That's available on Apple Podcasts or the Google Play Store.
Here's Escobar. What new? 2 for 2. A double, single, and a run scored.
He's one of the premier first ball fastball hitters in the league. Doesn't always work out well, but he loves the first pitch.
He always has. There are a lot of Latin players that love first ball fastball. Meanwhile, nice 1-2-3 inning. We're into the 7th, trailing 4-1. Ballpark Pass is available now, and for just $42, fans can attend all 12 games in May with tickets delivered digitally to your smartphone. So visit whitesox.com/pass for more information or order yours today.
Peter Moylan comes in the ball game. He's on for the 15th time. No record, but a .559 ERA. A lot of that accumulated guaranteed rate field when they came to Chicago. He gave up 5 in 1 inning, and he inherits a lead. a 3-run lead. It's a 4-1 game.
There's Jacob. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI. That got us on the board, top of the 4th inning. We had the lead, 1-0. Just ripped it in the hole between third and short.
Outfield straightaway, not overly deep. Hoyland, as a rule, with his fastball anyway to a left-hand hitter, he's going to stay away. That is his comfort part of the plate. Anytime you have a guy that throws either low sidearm or submarine, if they can master a changeup, it's wonderfully effective. Get just about everybody swinging at the motion.
It's one of those guys just talking about a couple innings ago. You can box him in. Easier said than done, but it can be done. Box him in, and by that again, if you're just tuning in, don't look at him. Look at where you think he's going to be throwing the ball from, the delivery point, and that's what you concentrate on. It gives you a better and quicker view of the ball. 1 down.
Hoyland originally signed by the Twins as a minor league free agent way back in 1996, so he's been around a while. And there is that little slider that he throws, and it was effective.
Here's Tyler. He has gone out to left, walked, and then hit a screaming Mimi right to Moustakas at third base.
Because of all the injuries and the trade of Wade Davis, Kansas City bullpen isn't nearly as dominant as it once was.
Well, it might be a few years before you see that again with Kansas City. 2 down.
They made it. It's never easy to manage. They made it a lot easier because pretty much you had the lead late. If you could cover the 9 outs at the end, you had some guys down there. They just kept bringing them out and nobody hit them.
Well, Ned has had his critics. There's no question about that. All he did was come within 1 out of winning 2 consecutive world championships. That's all he did.
Yeah, he did.
He took what Dayton Moore gave him and made the best of it.
They had a great system also when they had Jared Dyson and Terrence Gore. Gore came late in the season when they expanded the rosters, and Dyson was here all year. That kind of speed at the end where you can steal a base and use that speed, that's invaluable in close games, and they were in a lot of them.
Well, as I said, he took what he had and did the best with it.
They had a lot of #1 draft picks, and the front office under Dayton Moore made the most of them.
Well, Dayton had a good mentor,
I should say.
Down in Atlanta.
Who was here? Who was the GM here?
He was here.
John Shearholtz.
Yeah, but he also had.
Yep.
He was in Atlanta with Shearholtz.
They were part of the team that put together the 14 straight division championships.
Well, that's why Shearholtz is going into Cooperstown.
Oh, yeah.
He and Bobby Cox, I mean, that's the greatest tandem we've seen in our lifetime. That didn't take long. Couple of strikeouts, 1, 2, 3, 7th inning stretch, 4-1 bad guys. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. And remember, blackout and other restrictions may apply, so visit MLB.tv for details. Christian Colon, sacrifice bunt, and he fouled out to Jacob May in right field. Takes first pitch strike. Got a bench clearing down in Houston. A couple Astros got drilled, and they threw one behind Mike Napoli. But didn't see any fisticuffs. A lot of pushing and shoving.
Texas leads that one 2-1 as they try to handle their in-state rivals.
Just a little bit low. 2-1.
Dillon has done it on a minimum of pitches so far.
Well, if Dillon didn't catch that bad break on that Salvador Perez, as there's a base hit, hit the bag down the third baseline, this would be a 2-1 ball game. Meanwhile, it did, and it's a 4-1 ball game.
Nice play by Melky as he goes across and makes sure that Colon can't go to second. Looks for the moment like Ricky is ready to go to the mound, but we'll wait and see. Good effort by Melky as he cuts across and makes a good solid throw to second base.
So here's Stockus, 1 for 3, single, a run scored. And with what Ned Yost has, he's front loading his order. There's more and more managers are starting to understand that's the way to do it, especially with the bullpens the way they are today, because you want to have your best hitters get one more shot at them.
And also, I like
late in the ball game.
I like what Ned does also when he's using the lefty, righty, lefty, righty down through his order, so that it makes it more difficult as that one gets away. Makes it more difficult when you go to your bullpen. So that is a wild pitch.
Well, if you got the players to do that, that is the way.
Yeah.
Staggering. Yeah. Some of the great pitchers in Cooperstown used to love it. I remember my former partner, God rest his soul, was in Cooperstown. Don Drysdale used to love it when they used to stack all left-hand hitters against him.
To me, once you get that release point, it gets easy if they don't move it back and forth, righty, lefty, righty, lefty.
That's why he loved it.
Yep.
High pop-up. Baez.
Well, we'll see how it's ruled. And there certainly is a case for the team error.
No question.
They do give him E2. This ball is up for a while, and Omar's got it, but can't drift with it.
Well, is it a tough play? Yes. There's no win, virtually no win right now whatsoever. But this is, big leagues. You got to
make the plays, right?
Two and 2. So that would be the second if they had that ruling. It would be the second team error on the White Sox tonight.
Yep. Michael Inoa should be about ready if need be.
Give it to him in a hurry. So now the wild pitch and the grounder. Stockus gets the job done. Colon on third. And here comes Kane. 0 for 1 with 2 walks.
Bringing the infield in at all 4 spots.
Takes first pitch strike.
Ooh, that was quite a call. Lorenzo can't believe it. When Danley thought it was good enough.
I was talking with an umpire last night. He told me they're bringing in a new system. It's not made for grading. It's made for training to improve strike zones, especially of young umpires coming in, which we have a lot of them. And a lot of those young umpires are good, very good. But he said that the system has already missed over 500 pitches.
Sounds like they should rework that system.
Exactly. So a lot of times, now I don't know when they're using it, because they're using two systems, and one of them, we don't know which one it is that it, but that one has missed over 500 pitches. So a lot of times what you'll see on pitch tracks is a strike. It's really not a strike, and vice versa. Tops that one over into our dugout.
Kane wanted to hit that one well out of the park. He let it all go.
$20,148 on what was starting out to be a frigid night here in Kansas City. Two-two pitch. Toronto beats the Yankees 7-1 in the Bronx. Estrada over Severino.
That's a really big game for the Toronto Ball Club that's been scuffling. If they're going to get back into this or even think about it, they certainly have to be able to beat the Yankees or Boston. If they can't, they can phone in the rest of this season with Aaron Sanchez now on the DL with a split nail on his throwing hand. They've had their share of problems.
Could not hang on to it. In and out. So the count remains 2-2. Phillies leading the Cubs 7-0, bottom of the second. He gone. 2 down.
That's strikeout number 2. And a great time for the second strikeout as he buries this one in on the hands of Kane, who cannot bring the hands in fast enough to be able to make any contact at all. That was a perfect spot for it.
That's not a bad place to go with 2 strikes in the big spot.
Not with the infield in, because if you do hit it, you're not going to do much with it.
Especially with a very aggressive hitter. Here's Hosmer. He's 0 for 3. Baltimore continues to play well. They're leading Boston 5-2 that game. Yeah, in the bottom of the 9th inning.
And they're getting a bit better news. Zach Britton is coming back. Should be activated tomorrow. Staying afloat without your closer is a good trick.
That ball hit deep in the left center field. Leary. And that ball is out of here. It is 6-1.
If Hosmer continues to do that, all of his offensive woes will dissolve, because that is, for him, his sweet spot. Left center field. His second home run of the year. Our Ford home run replay will show you that he picked on what appeared to be a slider and rode it out of the park. So that's going to be the last pitch that Dylan is going to throw tonight. And he departs. And as he steps out, so will we. We'll be back after these messages. Chopper down the line, and unfortunately it hits the bag. Davidson with no chance after the carom. It plates 2, just part of the 6 that are up there. That's our Miller Lite play of the game. The Hyundai call to the pen is Michael Inoa. He comes on with the bases clear. It's a 6-1 ball game, and he's on for the 7th time. Throwing it pretty well. ERA 3.86. And there you look at the rest of the numbers.
So here's Salvador. Yeah, Dillon was within 2 outs of having himself a really good outing. 2-out single by Perez, and then the 2-out home run by Hosmer.
That one, it hit the seam and almost bounced back into fair territory.
I'm telling you.
Matt came over and routine foul ball. That was past the bag, wouldn't have counted, but he wasn't expecting that.
Right to Saladino. Couple of more come across the plate. We're into the 8th, trailing by 5. 3 of 4 against these Royals. Coverage begins at 6:30 with White Sox pregame live, or stream the game on the NBC Sports app or at csnchicago.com.
A new pitcher coming in the ball game. It is Joakim Soria, on for the 11th time. He's been pretty good this year. Former closer and a good one. Now he's a setup man, and there you look at the record. The ERA just a little above 2.5. The rest of the numbers suitably impressive, and he's got a 5-run lead to work with.
Cabrera, Abreu, and Frazier. First pitch strike, Abreu. Check that. Cabrera grounded to short, went out to center, and flied to right.
There was a time when Soria had one of the best curveballs around. It's still good, but he's lost some velocity, and so it doesn't break as sharply. He always had great control.
Well, I was getting ready to say, that's the thing that always impressed me about him, was his control.
Yeah.
I mean, he was outside corner out, inside corner in.
Yeah, very, very good at spots with everything.
He did not mess around with the middle of the plate.
Now, he's been around quite some time, and he was wonderfully successful. This is his second go-around with Kansas City, a team that brought him to the major leagues. 43 saves, 1 year, 42 when he was with Kansas City.
Soft chopper, 2-hopper.
Last year that Soria actually was the primary closer of any team was back in 2015 with the Tigers. He saved 23. His ERA was 2.85 that year. A fine year for him before moving to Pittsburgh and last year to Kansas City.
Here's Abreu. Little pop up to second, a strikeout. Then he went out to center field. Game tomorrow will be over WGN. And that'll be Jose Quintana against Danny Duffy. One out, 1-1 to count.
He tried to heat him up inside, but that one was up and out of the zone.
We took the lead with 1 in the top of the 4th. They came right back with 2 in the 4th, added 2 in the 5th, and 2 in the 7th.
Todd Frazier wants his shot at Soria, who as a professional pitcher has worked exclusively out of the bullpen. He did start some games when he pitched in the Mexican League. That was way back in 2005.
Two down.
Todd Frazier's had a perfect night.
Yes, he has. 2 walks, a single. Scored our only run. That's George McDaniel, Gail Tucker, Jeff Lorkey, Kate Clays, Joe Bernofsky, Evan Delgado, Ashley Sorensen's picked a click. There's a breaking ball strike.
Todd didn't like it. He's inquiring of Kerwin Danley, but it was a pretty good pitch.
One and two.
Got a quick pitch him that time, but didn't have enough to keep it in the air all the way to the plate.
I don't know why more pitchers don't do that.
It's just a great way to upset the timing of the hitter. And especially when he's used to seeing you out there do whatever you do, which pitchers, like every other player, habitual. They go through their system. But if you do something different, it surprises the hitter.
Full count. Kelly Wunsch.
Deceptive left-hander.
Well, he was normal. Wasn't going anywhere. Changed it, became a very deceptive left-hander and pitched in the big leagues.
Well, there's a lot of guys who have discovered some of the magic late. Bruce Sutter, Hall of Famer, he was a starting pitcher and was running out of chances. And then he was taught by pitching coach with the name of Fred Martin, that splitter. Taught it to him in his backyard in Arizona. The rest, as they say, is history.
Here's the payoff. Yet, as we talked about yesterday, our last game in Detroit, it's amazing to me how guys are not getting the job done. They're failing. And it's just a matter of time before they either get released or they get sent down to the minor leagues, and they won't change.
Well, that's a ringing endorsement for a guy to get taught the knuckleball and try to refine it. Because your stuff is short. If you're heading into your regular life post-baseball, you might as well try a knuckleball. Try anything you can to stay around.
As you know, I've said this forever.
Yep.
Sox fans have heard me. It just amazes me as that's right back at us. Why organizations don't take. You got your top tier pitchers, and the vast majority of pitchers are in the gray area. And you've got probably 25 to 30% of the pitchers are way down here.
Waiting to go home when it's over for them.
Exactly. Take them down and get somebody to, as he strikes him out, teach him knuckleball. Meanwhile, it's a 1-2-3 inning, and we still trail at 6-1. As we get set to go to the Kansas City half of the 8th inning, Alex Gordon will lead it off, be followed by Bonifacio and Moss. Michael Ynoa's first pitch inside. High pop up. Anderson.
You can apply for an all-digital, no-fee loan now at eclicklending.com. eClick is located in Chicagoland and is rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. eClick Lending. Boom! Your mortgage just happened. Here's a man who's blast one of the big hits in this ball game. Bonifacio's 2-run homer in the 4th inning.
Well, we're going to show it to you again in just a moment. It was a bomb. One of the longest you're going to see, especially on a cold night like tonight.
He got every bit of this, and at the time, the wind was blowing in ever so slightly from left field. Didn't affect that one in the least. That one kept on going.
That's big boy territory out there.
That one hit the steps and kept on going up. That's how much momentum it had. Maybe stopping at the snack bar on the way. Scott Alexander starting to loosen. Non-save situation. Right off of Omar's mask, it looked like. Bonifacio inquiring about his senses. Does he have any at this point?
Payoff pitch.
Michael leaned back to throw a high fastball by him. In the meantime, Bonifacio still able to stay alive. Brandon Moss is one of the few that's had a tough evening, waiting in the on-deck circle.
And that's ball 4. So here comes Moss. 2 ground balls, soft ground balls to first, and then he lined very hard to Jacob May in right field. Watch out. 2 balls and a strike.
Looking fastball all the way, and he got it. Fortunately, that one was out away and couldn't do anything with it. Started to throw a backdoor breaking ball. It just stayed out there, however. Alcides Escobar waiting for his opportunity.
Back-to-backs. Escobar has doubled, singled, scored a run, and he's popped up the center. That Texas-Houston game now, bottom of the 7th at the juice box. Astros leading 5-2.
They were trailing that game. They battled their way back into it.
Milwaukee leading St. Louis 4-2. Both those teams. The parity in baseball is wonderful because we're seeing so many great young players come into the game. I mean, it's just baseball is well positioned going forward for a long time.
When you take a look at the teams in baseball and you see guys like Lindor from Cleveland, Correa from Houston, even Altuve is not what you'd consider an older player. He's just a really good player. There's some great young players that are just coming up and some that are just like a half step away.
Bogarts, Boston.
Benintendi in Boston. He's going to be a real good one.
Big Papi told me Bogart's got a chance to be the best hitter in baseball before he's done.
He's a good one now.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts, another good young player.
There's a strike and the count 2-1 with 1 down, 2 on here in their half of the 8th inning. 6-9-0 for them. 1-5. You know, just one for us. Two and two the count. Mentioned Quintana against Duffy tomorrow night. On Wednesday, Pelfrey against Nate Carnes, and on Thursday, Derek Holland against Ian Kennedy.
Kansas City has been a decent ball club here, Kauffman Stadium. They're 500 to 5-5. It's been on the road where they've been killed. 2-11 on the road. That is the worst record in baseball.
Our guys 7-5 on the road.
And pretty evenly split. And if things are going to stay afloat, this team is going to have to be road warriors the first almost 3 months of the season.
And that's okay, because if we can keep the bullpen going, we can hang in there for a long time. Bullpen right now with a 1.94 ERA. That's the best in the major leagues. Cleveland has the second best. Last year, if you recall, we were 1.69 through April. That was the best by far in the major leagues, but we only had one off day.
Saying it got him.
So here comes Coop. 2 walks and a hit by pitch. Yeah, that schedule last year was just the one off day in April, just wore us out because the starters weren't going that long, coming out of spring training, and bullpen was getting it done, and all of a sudden it just wore them out.
Well, this is a big if, and the way it's situated this year, if this team can stay afloat through the latter parts of June, then all of a sudden you get very top-heavy home games as opposed to road games. But that's saying that you can stay afloat through what will be on June 23rd, I believe. When that game is played on June 23rd in Chicago, there'll be 44 road games and 28 home games. So that would say that if you're in position to take advantage of it, this becomes a wonderful schedule.
Well, I'm not even going to bring expectations into it. I mean, we're playing better than I thought we were going to play anyway.
No doubt.
So that being the case, I'm just going to stay right here and just watch these guys play. And hopefully there's a strike. Hopefully that bullpen will continue to get it done.
Well, they got two guys to come back that will really help things. If they come back both healthy as when they left, which is Patrichka and Putnam. If we can get them back, certainly it'd be a boost to the pen, which at this point doesn't really need a boost, but it will.
Good pitch, did not get it. And that ball across the plate, it was a strike. Overall, Kerwin's had a good game behind the plate.
Haven't had too many guys complaining.
One and two. Blowing that sacrifice bunt, foul out to Jacob May in right, and then a single, sharp single into left field. Nats beat the Braves 7-5 down in Atlanta. Syndergaard, torn lat. Well, they know where they can come to get it fixed. Dr. Anthony Romeo, there's only been one pitcher to ever have a torn latissimus dorsi. That was Jake Peavy. Dr. Romeo told Steve and myself both before the operation, we both asked him now, how's it, it's never been done, how's it going to turn out? He said he's going to be 100%.
Come back exactly with what he had.
And he did.
And he did.
Only time that's ever been operation of that procedure of that sort in the major leagues.
Well, as you know, you can't force any player to have a medical procedure that they don't want to have. And Syndergaard turned down an MRI when he had some arm difficulties. In fact, he left the ball game, couldn't raise his arm above shoulder level. Decided he didn't want an MRI and then went out the next start and got hurt badly.
Turns it, rack him up. So he pitches out of it. A couple of walks and a hit batsman, and we're into the ninth. Still trailing by 5.
field and is accessible from all levels of guaranteed rate field. Space features batting and pitching cages, base running areas, and skill instruction from Chicago White Sox Training Academy coaches. While there, check out the latest Xfinity technology, including the X1 platform. X1 by Xfinity, it'll change the way you experience TV, as Scott Alexander comes into this.
And Davison takes first pitch strike. That one at 92. He's 0 for 3. He hit it hard twice. Fouled out to right field his first trip. And he's underneath that one. Alex Gordon comes on. So 1 out.
Alexander's had a very good run out of the bullpen. And with the philosophy you can never have too many quality left-handers in your pen, he's been one of them this year. In a bullpen that is not quite as dominating as it was for a long time.
Well, if you've only got one left-hander in your bullpen, you're at a big disadvantage. If you got two, which most clubs do have, and one of them is pretty good, then you're pretty good shape. In the real world, a perfect world, you'd have 3 left-handers in that bullpen.
But that was on the mind of Cleveland to help out Andrew Miller to go get Boone Logan. Give him one more serviceable left-hander to take some of the innings that Miller would normally take.
Yeah, well, you don't have to have 3 studs out there left-handed, but you got to have, and you framed it right, serviceable left-hander.
That's it. Pick up a couple of innings and save the guy, in this case Andrew Miller, save him for really high leverage situations.
Chopper, got to hurry. He does. And Leury is gone for out number 2. Leury now 1 for 4 tonight. And that'll bring up Narvaez. Omar, he's 1 for 3.
Omar does have a base hit. He's 1 for 3 tonight as he represents the final chance. One more out, KC will have broken their 9-game losing streak, the longest by far in the major leagues.
Well, you can look at most divisions. Nobody's going to run away with them. There's just too much parity. If there is one team that is theirs ball 4, there's one team that has an opportunity or a chance to run away with a division at this point in time, in my opinion, would be Cleveland.
Yeah, that would be the one team. When you look up and down, they can run away, possibly, assuming everybody stays healthy. The Washington Nationals can run away.
I'm talking about the American League.
Oh, American League, yeah. I don't think anybody else runs away. Houston's pretty good. Houston has a chance to make things very uncomfortable for the West.
Narvaez moves into, if they're going to give it to you, take it. There'll be indifference. Jacob has our lone RBI. A bullet with 2 out. Coming back in the 4th inning. Bullet between 3rd and short. And certainly, though, as I said, I'm not bringing in Mr. Expectations. He's a killer. I'm going to keep him away.
Yeah. And just enjoy whatever you get.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to enjoy watching these youngsters play.
Yeah. Be nice to watch them play knowing there's another wave on the horizon of really talented youngsters waiting.
That is premier.
Yeah.
That is premier.
sitting there waiting, getting better with every passing day.
I've been here for 32 years, and without question, without even close, this is the greatest young talent we've ever had. I'm talking about if you go to AAA and AA.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting as this year moves along. We're going to get a look at some guys that have a chance to be here for a long time.
So the 9-game losing streak by Kansas City is snapped as they win this one 6-1. And Vargas is going to pick up. Was Vargas tonight?
Yeah, he was as billed. He came in throwing the ball very well. The only blip on the radar was his game in Chicago, but he made up for it tonight. And the Royals did everything right. Unfortunately, no offense for our boys, and they came in second.
In a 2-horse race. All right. So for my partner, Steve Stone, our director, our Hall of Fame director, Jim Angio, our producer, Keon Dolashahi, our associate producer, Dave Ross, our executive producer, Jim Cornell Jr., our technical manager, Mark Harper, also for Rich Birdsong, Lori Wall, all our crew here in Kansas City, which is one of the best in the league. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next is Subaru Postgame Live. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on CSN Chicago.